Good morning from beautiful Arkansas. Today is January 11th, and I just wanted to do a quick video walking you through my daily routine on my developing homestead. So, why I thought about this is as a job when I'm not doing this, which I consider this part of my job too, is actually doing work out here, which is a lot of work. I actually work with students, helping them with time management. It's called executive functioning, basically helping them to plan, to prepare to not necessarily just being an employee, but maybe one day being an entrepreneur. And part of that is knowing how to set goals, create a plan for your life, your day to day, and in their sense, helping them. Part of that is managing their school workload, but those skills that you learn actually help you to develop into planning out the rest of your life beyond just academics. So I use those skills here. So I'm pretty consistent with them. So my daily routine is I wake up pretty much whenever I wake up. That could be at 6 a.m. That could be at 7:30 as it was this morning. And first thing I do is I give my first fruits to our Creator. I typically, lately I've been reading the proverb, but usually it could be any scripture that I'm working through. I'll read that for a bit, and then, I got to take care of my animals, so I can't be sitting around too long. So the next thing that I will do is I'll walk out to my chicken coop, and we'll go out there real quick. I'll walk out to my chicken coop. I'll let the chickens out. I will let this guy out because he has a lot of energy. And I let the goats out to free range. And then that's the first time that they get to be together since the afternoon yesterday. Because he's still young, he can't be around them full time because sometimes he gets excited. He likes to play with them like they're another dog. So I combine them together, and for the most part, he's acclimating pretty well with them, where he's not, nipping at them, or, he does these little playful bites, but he does that too. He could do that with me. He does it with other dogs. That's just kind of like their character as a commandor and commodore, and I don't really like that. I'm doing that with the goats because he doesn't need to treat them like that, but he's still learning. Anyway, so after I let the all the animals out, I will gather up any goat manure or chicken manure that I can get and add to the compost bin. And I will give him a treat, usually a chew toy that he's already probably worked through. To associate being with the goats is a good thing. It's a positive thing when he's with the goats, and it also kind of distracts and gives that energy out from him for a bit. After that, that doesn't take very long. Right now I'm about to get started with my daily task of burning through my woods again. Again, I have 6 acres. It's fenced in over there. I'm just thinning it out. Part of it is for beauty. Part of it's also just for function, because I do want more light to come in for more vegetation to grow back. So in the summertime, the goats will have more access to free food, basically, and rather than me buying hay for them. So I let them out every morning for about 4 hours, just because this is where all the grass is. They haven't decimated this area yet like they have that. So I'm actually letting that part of the property rest for a bit. And, they'll never really go through all the grass that I have growing in the front. So after that, like I said, I'll do my task, probably taking me to about noon, 1 o'clock. Then I'll make my way into town. After I go into town, I will do any errands. I'll spend time with Amy. We'll have lunch together and probably go to the gym, even though I do a lot of physical work out here. I guess as I've gotten older, I eat a lot more, and I don't have the metabolism that I used to. So if I don't stay on top of it, I can put on weight. So I still have to do maybe a little weightlifting, cardio, if that is required. And I'll do that for a few hours. And then I'll try to make it back here before sunset. I'll give him his dinner. And even though he free eats from his automated feeder most of the day, I will give him a special treat, so something to look forward to. Then I'll put him back up in his area where he's next to the goats, but doesn't have access to them. And after that, when I usually have my student calls between 5 to 8 p.m. And it varies each day, depending on the day. Yesterday was a Sunday. I saw some of them early afternoon, but I'm giving you like a typical day. So I will do that until 8. I've had dinner somewhere in there, and then usually like 8 to 10, I'll do something sort of mindless. Lately, it's been watching football, which, it's whatever. I'm looking forward to the day where that no longer interests me, but I guess I'm usually pretty tired. Burning particularly takes a lot out of me. Running errands, I feel like sometimes I'm going nonstop all day and every day, so that's something that I guess I just need something to keep my mind off things. So I do that. I go to bed at 10 o'clock around then, and then that's a wrap on my day. So that is my usual day to day. Again, the jobs will vary. Like right now, after this, I'm going to be burning for about 4 hours, just cutting through some of the lower trees that won't have a chance to grow up and make much of themselves, but they do take water away from the bigger trees. And there's a lot of trees that I just don't want growing. Some of them are invasive, some of them are they grow too much, like these eastern red cedar. I'm learning more and more about them, that I probably have kept too many, so I'll probably be taking out some more of those. Even though the bigger ones I do like. They're green, they look nice. But the smaller saplings, I'll probably be getting rid of most of them. So yeah, that's it. And I haven't done a video update on my barn. So I did finish my barn, and I finished that the other day. It's not really being utilized that much yet, but this is basically all I got in there right now is just some bales of alfalfa, but I need to get my hands on some brown bales, which is the whole purpose of this, was to store the big round bales because they're a lot cheaper than the square bales. But it's a job getting them here, and I don't want to have to pay for delivery, so I just haven't. And I also don't want to be buying some moldy old hay bale that's been sitting out in the field. So I want to make sure whoever I buy it from is stored it properly so it won't make my goats sick, because I am very cautious about feeding my goats moldy hay. Yeah, other than that, I typically have a tendency to just keep talking, and maybe because I don't do these that often, but give you as much updates as possible on what's going on. But I'll try to keep it to that for today. So I got to get to work. Got to keep working with that guy. And yeah, till next time, y'all have a blessed day. And that's it.